You guys are going through a lot. Brad Reed,
I think so, here.
Andy Kishitz,
Here.
Gerard Ahern,
Present.
Elizabeth Hutchins. There we go. And Gabriella Mano.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. All right, you want to bring up the hearing notice?
Sure.
Thanks, Valerie. Okay, just make it a little bigger, and that'd be perfect. Well, there it is. Yeah, okay, perfect. So in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 11, notices hereby given that the Bolton Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, July 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m. via Zoom Communications, Inc., Zoom, and act upon the application of Robert and Janice Lewis. The applicant seeks a variance to construct a pool shed at Annie Moore Road in Bolton's residential zoning district, identified on Assessors Map 4E as parcel 29. The applicant seeks a partial relief from the 20-foot side yard setback pursuant to section 250-13.b of the Code of Town of Bolton. So this hearing will be conducted via Zoom. So with that, why don't you bring up the applicant's application and let the applicant walk us through it.
Hello, I'm Rob Lewis. I want to thank you all for taking the time to meet on my behalf.
Mhm.
So by way of introduction, this project is about a pool shed that's replacing an existing structure. It's a temporary structure that's being replaced. It's small. The new structure is 10 by 30, which is quite large.
Mhm.
And the reason for the location on our property is, as you can see from the site map, the pool itself is sited toward the end of one of the property lines. And the shed,
Mhm.
which is going to partially house the pool equipment, which is kind of the point of building the shed, needs to go on top of the pool equipment, which is already located there in terms of all the plumbing that's already connected to the pool. So that's the reason for the variance application.
Mhm. Okay, so is that, is it like a one, any depictions of the shed, of your proposed shed?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have any depictions or renditions of the proposed shed you're gonna look like?
I don't know if I included that.
I don't recall seeing anything.
I apologize.
It's okay.
It's a pretty standard, basic shed with a typical V-style roof. There's going to be a
And
couple windows.
typically, we like
Go ahead.
what it is we're approving, so that even if it were to slightly change, we'd have some type of idea of what we're potentially approving. We could say in substantial conformity to that, but it gives us also an idea where it's going toward some about his property if they were to say it's too high or it's visible, things like that. So
Right. I'm trying to think of what I can do to get you something to look at right now.
I remember from our discussion earlier, it sounded like it would be a rather typical like Reed's Ferry style shed. If you are able to pull up an example from their website, that may help.
So I'm going to try to do that right
Yeah.
now. Although on the spot, I was asked to do it ahead of time, and I didn't remember to do it. So I do apologize about that. But I'm just cruising their site right now to see if I can find anything similar. This one's actually pretty similar. So won't be exactly like this, but it's very close. Let me so I can share my screen. Hold on. Share screen. Okay, are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
there we go.
All right. So it'll be something like this. It'll be a bit bigger than this. 30 feet long is quite big. But we'll have the two windows in
That's the
front.
question I had was I thought the 10 by 30 was an awfully big
Shed.
requirement or necessity for a pool shed.
We have a lot of stuff we want to put in it, like lawn equipment and pool chairs and, yeah, that kind of thing.
Mhm. So strictly shed though, nothing other than.
No, there's no water in there, like no showers. There's going to be no heat. There won't be anyone living in it.
Mhm.
It's just to store things. That's all.
Yeah. Right. Mhm.
I think we're going to have a plywood floor. That's it.
Mhm.
But it will have two doors. One will be in the front, which I think will be a double style door. And there will be one on the side for access from the side, which may be a single or double. There will be this ventilation dormer. And the windows will look very similar to this. They will have the decorative shutters.
Mhm.
So stylistically, and the roof will be the same kind of shape. Stylistically, this is about what you're going to look for.
So what's the encroachment on the property line? What's
So
you looking to fix that shed?
so the fence which this shed will actually partially replace, is, I think it's within 20 feet of a property line. So that's the line that's in question.
Mhm. So it's a 50 yards, is a setback for the 50-foot setback and they're only on 20?
It's actually it's a conforming lot, so it's the 20-yard
Okay.
setback. It looks from the plans like it would be about 7 feet from the property line, if that's correct.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
This is a lot this is the common driveway lot, I believe.
The
I think the common driveway runs on the other side of the yard.
I think our next
Yeah.
hearing is the common driveway.
Yeah, well, I just wondered if this one was, because this is on Anymore Road, and I remember when that was developed, I was on the planning board not too long after that, so I just trying to visualize it, but anyway,
So
never mind.
Yeah. So Rob, you mentioned that did you speak with an abutter about?
I'm having a
placement of it?
really hard time understanding. There's some audio problem, Gerard.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh.
I just can't make out what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Okay, I apologize. Let me sit a little closer.
That'll help, I think.
If the weather's starting to have any problems, because my internet says it's strong, but so did I read in the application that you referenced that her didn't have any concerns with it? Do you have any communication from that abutter, an email or anything like that, so that we could include that
You
with
know,
the package?
I never did do that. We had a
Mhm.
number of things happen in the intervening time that distracted us from taking care of that. So I apologize. I can, if you want, I can go and do that and report back to the board. If you want to suspend the decision and wait for that.
Well, you did mention that, but you did have communications?
No.
Did I read something that the abutter said there was no concern with?
I did not communicate with the abutter.
Okay.
Were the abutters notified of this hearing? That's the next question. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So at least they were on
Valerie,
notice.
is
I mean,
there an
I can't-
abutters list and map for this?
Yes. Yep.
Like, usually that's part of the application materials. I didn't see it.
Mhm.
Oh, I apologize. That's my fault. You're right. It's not online. The applicant did provide that. Let me just review. Just to verify that abutter was on there. Let's see. Yep. Yep, it's the Bolton Spring Farm Realty Trust, I believe.
I did have communication with Mr. Stevenson, who owns that property,
Yeah.
a few months ago, but not in relation to this project. I actually asked him if I could purchase a little swath of land because our house is sited right at the back of our lot.
Uh-huh.
And I think he didn't want to get involved in that right now. Sort of
Mhm.
the whole process. I think he just didn't want to do it. But
Yeah.
he also told me not to worry about anything because they weren't planning on developing the land. So
Yeah, so that was, right, so that was the part I read in the application, was there was reference to the abutter saying that there won't be any development on that, and so my
they have
inference
so much land. I don't want to speak for him. I can't say he
No.
would or would not object.
no, but the
he
inference that I
would.
read was that there was like some indication from the abutter that
Yeah, that was a few months
There
ago,
were
but not in
yep,
reference to this
any
project.
development there, and so I just want to be sure that, typically if we're going to
I understand.
make a decision on encroaching upon someone
Wanna hear from
else's
them, yeah.
property, we want to be sure that they have an opportunity to, in the affirmative, say, yeah, it's not going to be a problem, because that, if we make a decision favorably, then, that gets recorded and then it goes with the land, and so then,
That
someone
makes sense.
else,
I'm gonna
so-
guess that land is under 61 anyway as an ag easement. So
I mean, as part of the
farm.
permit, pulling the permit, I had to reference some of the resource maps, and it does look like there's a water resource within maybe I don't know, a couple 100 yards into their property. And so I think that may be part of why there's not going to be development as well. So like they already have a problem with that.
And so in your application, I think you referenced that the hardship would be if you replace it somewhere else on the property that would be in compliance, that you'd have to redo all the plumbing and all the and electrical and things like that. I'm just trying to.
Well, yeah, I mean, apart from functional
hardship.
use and apart from functional use and aesthetics, which is an issue as well, but just from the cost perspective, ripping out all the pool plumbing and relocating the pool filter and all the electrical and plumbing that goes to that would be pretty expensive to do.
Yeah, right.
Was the pool installed before you moved in?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So do we only have one abutter within the applicable radius of this property, or are there more than that?
I think the people across the street might be considered. I don't know.
The mailing went out to 12 different properties. Yeah. Would it be helpful if I pulled up the map of?
Can you bring up?
I would like
The
to
map?
see it, yes.
Yeah.
That's possible.
All right, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
So
Not
this
yet,
is the parcel in question. So the pool is in here. This parcel has the same owner as the farm here, and it's quite.
I have to assume that's intended as road access if eventually needed.
Yes, it does provide them frontage on Anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 4 E-40 as well as the back lot, that's both Bolton Springs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and there's the water resource up there. You can see
Yeah.
the wetland.
I mean, I would be preferable. I would like to see if you just get a quick communication from the owner to say there's no concern putting it there.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Not trying to delay your project.
I agree with that, Gerard.
You know what? It's really not a hardship because the build date is a few weeks from now. And so I could just drive down to Bolton Spring Farm and have a little chat with Mr. Stevenson. He's a nice fellow, and I'm sure he
He's
wouldn't.
a great guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. So I just have a little chat with him and report back if you don't mind.
Yeah. Right.
Do you think if you're going to do that, it would be possible to just get the renderings of the proposed shed as well at the same time? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, if you could get a confirming letter or an email or something, just so we can keep in the documents, that would be great as far as Mr. Stevenson.
How would that play into this process? So I go and do that. I send it to Valerie,
Yes.
and then from there, how does the decision get rendered?
So, Gerard, would we make a decision contingent upon, or are we talking about a continuation of this?
Well, no, I think we'd probably continue. Pick a date coming up where we think the applicant would have that. Valerie could put together her little decision, and then we could probably make the decision and approve the format of the decision at that time, or at least entertain a motion to approve the decision, approve the variance. That way.
I don't know if anybody else has any comments. I wouldn't mind making a decision subject to at this time rather than schedule another meeting, but obviously we all have to be in agreement on that.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like we have a willing applicant that, as they indicate, he would provide that information, and if we want to make it subject to, and then substantial conformity to the rendition of a shown online, with caveat that we'll have a better rendition with the final package. Then, if someone wants to make a motion, I'll certainly entertain it.
I would recommend, I think that it's more difficult to condition something on a potential abutter letter. I'm not sure that that's,
Okay.
really able to be a requirement. But I do think that we could tack this on to a meeting next week and try to, quickly process that if the applicant feels that a letter or renderings could be made available by next Wednesday or Thursday.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, my plan would basically be to draft the letter, bring it to Mr.
Right.
Stevenson, have him explain to him the situation, have him read the letter, and hopefully he'll sign it on the spot.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, and with Valley's, guidance there, would you be amenable, Andrew, to then continue it to say next Wednesday? And if
We
that's-
have a meeting next Wednesday?
No, I am wondering if you, related to the other application at 580 Main, I am wondering if you all are available next Wednesday or Thursday. So
I thought we had one on the 25th.
we do also for Mallard Lane.
Yeah, we could
Uh,
tack it onto that one as well if you don't want to schedule a special one.
So we, later in this meeting, we will need to continue the 580 Main public hearing to either next Wednesday or Thursday. So if you all are available on either of those dates, we will be meeting next week as well, which would allow this applicant to proceed a little bit more quickly.
I apologize for not having done that ahead of time. It was
Because
an
the
extraordinary
reason, just
time period. I really apologize. It's embarrassing.
Well,
for the board's perspective, the reason we can't tonight, we have to postpone or we have to continue 580 Main because Brian's not available. He's a voting member, and because we potentially, if we had the draft decision that we were anticipating having, we potentially close that public hearing of a vote on the waivers and whatnot, and Brian wouldn't be able to participate in that. So, and it looks like next week we'll have potentially a draft of a decision that town council looked at and the attorney and the applicant's attorneys looked at, and we can have that hearing. So
now I'm confused. We have a meeting on the 14th.
That
Not
one
yet.
is, that one is going to be canceled.
And what's the next date, actual and number date of the next one we're looking at?
So depending on your availability, it would be either the 20th or the 21st,
Which is what day of the week? 20?
next Wednesday or Thursday.
Thursday works for me, Wednesday doesn't.
So do we think that there's going to be more discussion on 580 Main or on Mallard Lane? I was thinking we tack it on to Mallard Lane because 580 is a larger project and we might have to go longer on that one. But what do other people think, or especially Valerie, the scheduling?
I think that this discussion on Annie Moore likely won't take longer than 15 minutes. So I'm thinking we could have that first next week and then move on to 580 Main.
okay, I'm available Thursday if that is that helps the board.
I'm also available.
I am available either one.
I am too, Thursday.
Okay.
Andy,
Um,
did you say Thursday is available?
Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday's better for me.
No, I said Andy. I cut out. I didn't hear him. He's on mute.
I can
I'm
do either
available
one.
Thursday. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I think Thursday.
And I'm available Thursday. All right,
Good.
I'm gonna make damn sure to have this done by then.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. Okay, so what time are you anticipating the 580 Main hearing, Valerie, on Thursday?
It seems like the applicants and Joe are available anytime. So So if we continue this to 6 o'clock next Thursday, then we can start 580 Main at 6:15.
I would prefer a little later because
Later.
I have to commute on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I don't want to get caught in traffic and be late for a meeting.
So 6:30?
That's fine with me.
That's okay.
Right. Okay, all right, so motion is 6:30 on 7/21. Is that right, Valerie?
Yes.
Okay,
I make a motion to continue this hearing to 6:30 on 7/21.
okay.
Second,
And those in favor, Brad Reed,
Yes,
Andy Kishitz,
yes.
Gerard Ahern,
Yes,
Elizabeth Hutchins,
Yes.
and Gabriella Mano.
Yes.
All right,
perfect. So
thank you.
good luck, Rob, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Yep,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye now.
Bye. Okay, well, that helpful, that discussion about next week, as part of that hearing, because now we know when we open up the 7 o'clock here, we can just note that we're gonna continue it to the 21st at
6:45, is that right?
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Sounds good. So our next public hearing is not till 6:30, so we've got a couple more minutes.
So can we make the motion now to continue the 580 Main?
We'll have to wait
Or do we have oh, we have to wait until Thursday, right? Okay.
No, we have to
Or-
open it tonight.
tonight. Yeah.
In,
Oh, I thought we had already continued it.
no, we hadn't, because then Brian realized he was gonna be out of pocket and couldn't, so. Well, oh no, something new came up today, right, Valerie? You said they didn't have the draft decision communication with the attorneys, I guess town council yet, so that had to get pushed off.
Yes, yeah, we're having a meeting with council on Friday, so a Thursday meeting wouldn't make much sense.
So we can continue that now, or we have to take this in order?
We'll have to take it in order.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the people that could be joining that at 7 potentially, and then,
All right.
so the sunroom one next, is that approaching on a 50 or 50 side yard setback, right?
yes, that's the 50-foot, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard a little out the window there. These are your kids enjoying being out of school,
Enjoying being out of school.
on the ball? Are they doing
Maybe
anything?
they are. We've been throwing them into camps left and right, which has been good though. So they're at Pompaciticate this week, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So they're
nice.
doing like horseback riding and archery and like all this stuff that they would not be doing in my house. So it's good. It's good.
Good.
But yeah, it's better than the past couple of years where they've been at home while we're trying to like work from home and everything is weird and we can't travel anywhere. And
Mhm.
yeah, it feels a little bit more normal this year, which is nice.
Yep.
Was the applicant going to appear at this one, or is this?
Yes, looks like they're just signing in now.
Oh, yeah, that got Megan. Valerie, once they join, just bring up the hearing notice and I'll read that and we'll kick it off.
Are you able to see that?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay.
Have they joined, Valerie?
Yes, they did.
Are they live?
Yes,
They
I
are?
believe so.
Okay. So I'll read the hearing notice and then we'll have them present their application. So in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, notice is hereby given the Bolton Zoning Board of Appeals to hold a public hearing on Tuesday, July 12th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. Zoom video communications, Zoom to hear and act upon the application of Scott Sionic and Megan Foley Sionic. The applicant seeks a variant to construct an all-season sunroom at 153 Long Hill Road in Bolton's residential zoning district, identified on Assessors Map 3D as parcel 48. The applicant seeks partial relief from the 50-foot side yard setback pursuant to section 250-13B and section 250-13E, section 5 of the Code of Town of Bolton. So with that, why don't you bring up the applicant's application and have the applicant present it.
Sure.
Mhm. Okay. Mhm.
think if Meg or Scott is available to speak to the application.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Sorry, we're having audio trouble here.
Okay.
We're not gonna be able to hear if you're not gonna be able to hear. Give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry, I had the model up on my computer, which I don't have speakers and a mic. So my wife was trying to listen. We were trying to do it on 2 computers, but it's obviously not gonna work.
Okay.
All right, so I don't know how this normally works, but you want me to just tell you what our plans are?
Yeah, so, walk us through the 4 requirements that, on the application, what the site's like, what the hardship is, why it won't derogate from the bylaws, why it won't be detrimental to the public, things like that. And, just walk us through what you write up. And so if we have any questions, we have something to talk about.
Okay, certainly. All right, so as you can see, our lot, despite being 4.5 acres, is very narrow at the section where our house is placed, as most of it's just getting us frontage on Long Hill.
Okay.
So the house basically spans almost from setback to setback across the yard there. On the other side of the house, it would be the bottom, as we're looking at it. The driveway is there.
Mhm.
And so we basically have no options on the sides of the house. And then on the back, it's hard to see in this picture, but you can see there's a deck off of the house there.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And so we were really interested in adding a sunroom to the house. And unfortunately, the only direction we can go is off of the side.
Mhm.
And there's septic in the front. Not that I would try to put a sunroom off of the front of the house anyway, but we're basically, we're pinned on all sides.
Mhm. So what are the dimensions of the sunroom that you're trying to?
So
that you're-
we have a fireplace that's on that side of the house that you could see in the pictures that I added, but I guess we can get to that later.
Mhm.
So there's a little box, a bump out. It's just a gas fireplace. So we want to go basically the full width, as close as we can get to that, which is 15 feet. And then we were thinking like 16 to 18, but we just had them draw it in as 20 feet, just so that we had, the option to go. That's like the absolute max that we had considered.
So what were those dimensions?
15 by 20 feet. It's right on the note there. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Yep, it's a little small.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the size, and obviously the setback is 50 feet here. And if we did go all the way out to 20 feet, it would put us at about 35 feet, 34.3 there.
Mhm.
On the other side of that property line is the Bolton Equine Center, the old Girl Scout land, if people are unfamiliar with the Equine Center.
Okay.
That is actually on the other side of that plot of land, near the pond. So all their structures are over there. So this side is totally unused.
Mhm.
There is a path that was carved out by the by the Girl Scouts when they were logging it. So there's kind of a path that goes right along the property line there. You can
Mhm.
kind of see it through the woods above there. Yeah, exactly. And so they plan to ride horses there, or possibly put a driveway to access Long Hill long term. But other than that, they weren't planning on putting any structures on this side of the property or anything.
Right.
So it's really, they're the only people who would be affected, I suppose. Our
Mhm.
neighbors on our side will be able to see it, but it's just a small addition to the main structure of the house.
But it's not encroaching on their
No,
property line.
it is not encroaching on their property lines.
Right.
It's
right.
only the Equine Center.
Right.
And they actually, we discussed with them, we reached out to them, and
Mhm.
the woman who owns the property, I can't recall her name, actually sent a letter in. And I believe Valerie has that, just saying, you know, that they were okay with
Mhm.
what our plans were.
Okay. Was
I
that an
think they know.
application, Valerie? I didn't see that. That was one of the questions I was gonna have is, do we have any communication from that butter?
I actually do not recall receiving this letter.
So
Um,
it didn't go in with the application. She dropped it off herself. She said she signed it and dropped it off. We have a copy of it. We can forward it to you. It's obviously not signed.
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, let me just make a note to do that.
And who is the she you're referencing?
The owner of the Bolton Equine Center. I'm sorry, I can't recall her name. I wish my wife were here. She would she would remember. She was having the communication with her.
Mhm.
So I don't see any good view of the rear of the house. It looks like the deck takes up a portion of it. Is there another reason that would preclude putting it next to the deck?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have taken a picture of that. That's the air conditioner, the propane tank, and all the penetrations from the heating and ventilation system that's downstairs. And it's also
Thank
the
you.
kitchen. It's also the kitchen cabinets are along that side of the house.
Thank you.
Certainly. Yeah, honestly, we would love to put it where the deck is, and we just didn't have the foresight to realize that when we were building the house. That's just where they wanted to put the deck, and we hadn't planned for the sunroom at that point.
Right.
Do you have any like pictures of what the proposed addition would look like?
I have a model that I drew. It's not like an architectural plan or anything, but I can certainly show that. So this is just this is my working model from when we were building the house. So this is the fireplace box here that I was referring to.
Yep.
And then I don't have the model of the deck, but so that's our kitchen is here. And then slider walkout, and it's a walkout basement on that side of the house. So we would extend the basement to give a place for the sunroom and to get additional basement space while we were building that out. And then we basically just wanted, you know, windows along all sides. I don't know whether this triangle window would work out or not, but and then sort of, unfortunately, we have a window up here, so we might need to do either an asymmetrical roof or move that window back, which is clearly less desirable on a less than 5-year-old house. I prefer to do as little damage as excuse me, as possible.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we were thinking.
Mhm.
But we didn't want to go, you know, call an architect and start shelling out more money until until it was approved.
Right. So, so it would be, you know, they say you're going to design it, but it'd be like something substantially as far as size wise and look of what's there. You want to like grow to something bigger, or, you know.
No, I think this is modeled as 18 feet, 17 and a half feet, which is really, I think, where we want to be. Like I said, we gave the surveyor a round number of 20.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and so from the, sorry, I don't know how that's set up the way I do it work. So from the front of the house, it would, you know, the house is actually tilted this way, so you almost, it's partially obscured a bit from the street.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that was our plan, our thoughts.
Would you be able to like share like a screen print of that to Valerie so that we could just reference that in the opinion?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Thanks.
And can you share the letter that you say you have a copy of?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I wrote that down. We will get that to you guys.
Thank you.
Is that
Can I
something you
make
could
it shared
email
on the
to?
screen?
Oh, share it on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That way
give
we
me,
could
yeah, of course. Give me,
include it in
2
the record that we
seconds.
saw it and
Of course. I unfortunately didn't have it prepared because I thought it was
dropped off.
in there. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully it's under Bolton Equine Center. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to find it. Oh yeah, I found it. Amy Clark is the vet over there. Yeah, here we go. I got it. Let me share that.
April 11th.
Can you guys read it? I'm sorry. I
Yep.
can go bigger if that helps.
Allow special addition to bring 30 people over. Those spenders, we have no issue. We just have some answer. I'm not sure which can do that.
Oh, my wife just texted me and said that she mentioned she got the address wrong. 147's the top of the road, not our address.
Right, so that should be 130,
153.
153. Right. So
She said I guess she fixed it for the one that she sent in.
okay.
So I'm sure we can get another copy if necessary.
Right.
I'll check. I'll also check with the selectman's office. It's possible that it was dropped off there, it looks like.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'll see if
Yeah.
that's with them.
Tom planner and
I know we specifically asked her to wait until we submitted just so that you would have a file or something. And actually, no, I think we said that, and then you had mentioned that it wasn't a problem and we could drop it off in advance. But yeah, maybe it didn't end up on your desk, which would make sense.
Okay. So if the reference correct version has the right address, I mean, references the correct owners there, so that would be sufficient for me to at least know that the applicants, the abutters on notice, they were probably served notice with the application right from being an abutter, and we don't have any information otherwise that they're opposed to it. So as long as we get that document in the package, that would be good.
Okay. Yeah, she even came over to the house and we showed her what we were planning to do. So
okay, perfect. So we have that letter, we have the rendition. Clearly trying to move it around either because of on the side with the deck, the utilities, which is an issue and things like that, I'm sure. And what was your defined hardship in your application? I can't recall. I don't have it in front of me.
financial, as we would have to remove the deck.
Right. Okay. And work around the utilities and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, I didn't mention that in there. I can add a picture if you would like of the utilities.
Yeah,
if that's helpful.
Can't hurt.
Okay.
Great. Send that along and we can put that into the package.
Certainly.
Gerard, it does look like there may be another abutter in this meeting. Want to make sure that they've had an opportunity to speak?
Sure. I don't.
They want to?
Yeah, sure. I don't
Is
see any.
Michael Sullivan, I see?
Yep, that's me. Yeah, I live at 155 Long Hill Road. So yeah, I just wanted to voice my support for the plan. We take no objection to the proposed sunroom addition.
And what was your address, Michael?
155 Long Hill.
Long Hill Road. Okay, thanks.
Valerie, could you potentially speak to the pseudo concern in this email about the driveway? And if they were to apply for a driveway permit, would that be an issue because it would be 10 feet from the property line?
It would not be like a variance type of issue. I think what they're meaning is they would just be concerned that this applicant would be in opposition to that. But the location of a driveway within the setback is not an issue.
Okay, so a butter's concerns if they were to develop that into a driveway wouldn't be, for instance, like they aren't a variance, right? It would be.
Right, but they may, it's possible that it might, depending on what they want to do, it could be a special permit to expand the use. So I think they're just, trying to look forward and think about any.
I was just kind of curious what that
Yeah.
impact is, right? So I don't necessarily think that's a reason to deny it, but it's just, I just want to kind of understand what that concern is, so.
Yeah, she was concerned that we would be offended by the driveway being there. And although we would prefer it wasn't there, obviously, but it's within their right to do so. It's totally fine. As long as it doesn't turn into the business entrance, then which she assured us that would not be the case.
Right.
Yeah, it does make more sense to keep the business on Hudson.
Yeah.
Mine's the new one off Hudson, right?
Yes.
Like across Man Beach, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone have any questions or concern? I think I get all the information I need.
All set.
Okay. Let's do a shake of Liz's head.
I'm good.
You good? So we want to entertain a motion to approve the variance request based on the information provided and that, the size will be in substantial conformity with the rendition that was offered.
We have to close the hearing first, or?
Well, yeah, I guess we have to close the public piece of it. That's right. Good point, Brad, keeping us honest. So motion to close the public hearing portion.
I would make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
And those in favor, Brad Reed,
Yes.
Andy Kishitz,
Yes.
Gerard Ahern,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hutchins,
Yes.
and Gabrielle Romano.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So we'll take no more comment on that and then entertain a motion on the approval of it, and we can wrap this one up.
Is there, I just wanted to clarify, did the board want additional information before we draft a decision, or?
Well, I think the
We did-
letter who's going to, get that the replacement letter, but we already, in would be sending in, he provided that documentation for the rendition, but if there's anything additional, he was going to provide. But I think, if we qualify it as in substantial conformity, then, we should be good. Anyone else have an opinion?
So just like in the public hearing before, it is difficult to kind of base a decision off of the condition of receiving information. I mean, we could review a decision. I do have a draft decision that we could review tonight, or I could wait to receive the additional information and then we could review that next Thursday as well, before the 580 main hearing.
I would recommend that we, delay the final decision until next Thursday, and then, we get all the documentation in, and then we can just, that shouldn't take too long to vote
Okay,
the approval.
all right, so then we would have a motion then to continue till, was it 7:21 at? Would be
45.
45, is that?
So because the public hearing you just voted to close it, it wouldn't be a continuance. So I'll just add it to the agenda under business, and we can just review the decision and vote to approve then.
So you don't think that we can take action on it? I thought that because the letter was presented formally in the meeting,
Mhm.
that we could take some action on it, subject to receipt and correction of the address.
If you want to, yeah, if you want to do that, that's also fine. And we can, you could review the draft decision tonight. It just depends on what you want to do. I think we went two different ways with the public hearings tonight, so I just wanted to make sure I was understanding. Yeah.
But we didn't, you mean from the prior hearing?
I'm sorry, I don't think I could hear.
Were you talking about the prior hearing? In
Yeah.
this hearing? Yeah, well, the
Right.
prior hearing, we didn't have the letter or the documentation, so. So this was where we had the letter, was just gonna be updated for the
Okay.
correct address and whatnot, and we had that rendition that he provided that, we could probably, as Andy said, make a motion. So if you want to review a draft decision.
Sure. I'll pull that up. So I wrote this as an approval, just putting in all the typical information here.
Yep.
Kind of let you all read through it a little bit.
15 by 20, right? Do you want to, can you modify it at all to put in a comment about the deck side having AC and propane utilities that would also be prohibitive to?
Yeah. Yes, I can add that in.
Findings or?
And all of that utility was to the west of the dwelling, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Utilities, yeah. Propane and AC. Okay. Mhm.
Valerie, your email is townplanner@Bolton, correct?
At townofbolton.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was coming up as Erica in my
Yeah.
email.
That's me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Would you make reference to the letter and that model rendition?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Thunder out.
What was the date on that letter?
I'm sorry, I closed it. I was trying
Like
to just send an email
April.
back to her.
Yeah.
I just copied you on the response. April 11th. There we go.
April 11th. Thank you.
Okay.
I guess it didn't attach to the reply though.
Mhm. And do you reference the favorable support of the abutter that attended the meeting, Michael Sullivan?
Sullivan.
Mhm.
I could. I don't need to. I don't
Okay.
think. But if you do want me to add it to the findings, or
If
Yeah, I
if it's
could-
not yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I could add it in here.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
So at the bottom where you had referenced the letter, should we mention that, you know, as corrected and amended to include the proper address, of the applicant?
I could. I don't have that document though, so it's kind of hard for me to state that I have, you know.
I can forward it to you if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. Is it corrected at this point, or?
She said the one that she had signed and delivered was the corrected copy.
Okay.
So I
Can we
do
say
not
subject
I
to
do not have a
receipt?
corrected copy.
Okay.
I could add it as a condition, so a corrected or an amended copy of that letter is provided to the planning department.
Right. Perfect.
Did we add the renderings attachment?
No, let me check my email for that.
I sent you the renderings just now,
Sure.
Valerie.
Yes, I got
Liz,
that.
I think that we read in there that in substantial form with the materials presented with the application. So I think that'll be if
Yes.
that rendition, then we should be good.
So, and a photo of the backyard. So all you're missing is a corrected letter at this point.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hopefully Amy will reply shortly.
Mhm.
Can we parenthetically mention what the specific amendment we're looking for, correcting the property address is cited in the letter?
Sorry, what was that, Andy?
On the other part where you said the subject to the letter,
Yes.
I think it was up above. Yeah, can we just, in parentheses, amended parentheses to, to correctly identify the property address for the applicant? Just so it's clear what we're looking for.
Sure.
Looks good to me. So then all we would need, if everyone's comfortable and has read through it, we would just need then we could entertain a motion to approve the draft decision. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we need a motion to have me sign it on the board's behalf. Would that be right?
I'm sorry. I think I'm still, I can't quite
So
hear
then we
you.
would need a motion, we'd need the motion to approve the decision, the draft decision, and then a motion to approve the chair signing it.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you do that in the same motion?
Yeah.
That's okay. So I make a motion to approve the draft decision and allow the chair to sign on behalf of the board.
Second.
And those in favor, Brad Reed,
Yes.
Andy Kishitz,
Yes.
Gerard Ahern,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hutchins,
Yes.
and Gabriella Mano.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. So you let me know when that's finalized and I'll consent, and then you can deal with the butter on, the appeal and whatnot,
Sounds good.
All right. Perfect. Well, good luck, Scott and Megan.
All right. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
So we're after 7, Valerie. Do we have to wait for anyone else to show up, or do we just,
No one else, no, they are not going to attend. They're hoping just for a continuance without any discussion.
okay.
Yeah.
So we just have to note that we're going to continue the 580 Main Street 40B application hearing until July 21st, 2022, which is a Thursday at what time?
Let's do
6:45.
6:45. Yeah.
45. So do we need a motion on that, or is that just what we have to say?
We do need a motion, yes.
Okay. So motion to continue the 580 Main Street 40B application hearing till July 21st, 2022 at 6:45 PM.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
And those in favor, Brad Reed,
Yes,
Andy Kishitz,
Yes,
Gerard Ahern,
yes,
Elizabeth Hutchins,
Yes.
and Gabrielle Amano.
Yes.
perfect. So, and your agenda mentioned minutes, but we have no minutes, correct?
No minutes today. Nope.
So then just a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right,
second,
And those in favor, Brad Reed,
yes.
Andy Kishitz,
yes.
Gerard Ahern,
yes.
Elizabeth Hutchins, and Gabrielle Amano.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you
So
all.
we have meetings next Thursday and the Monday after that, correct?
That's correct. So the 21st and the 25th. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, I'll send out an email to confirm and send the Zoom links to those as well.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you all so much. Hope this storm passes over smoothly.
Yeah, I just heard a rumble of thunder out my window as it was coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun drive home.
Yep.
Be safe, all right?
Well,
Drive safe.
Drive
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.